Good morning. So glad you could join me for class today. We're going to be working on a pose that we haven't been doing a lot lately, and it's a very powerful pose, and it's Cobra Pose. And we're going to be focusing on two sets of muscles that we don't talk about a whole lot. Everybody knows what their biceps are, right? We are all good with our biceps. We're going to be working on our triceps, muscles at the back of the upper arms. And we're going to be working on the muscles between the shoulder blades right here, also known as your high heart. Okay. But let's start lying down and we'll warm up the whole body first before we get to our Cobra focused class. And for this class, you need a little bit of wall space. So look around, see what you got. And you need a strap, which I hope is longer than mine, but a strap would be a good thing to have for this class as well. And we'll manage without a strap if you don't have one. All right, let's lie down. Some people got a late start this morning, so we'll warm up slowly. Notice where the body and the mat meet. And soften yourself onto those places. Let the floor hold you up. You don't need to tense your muscles to hold yourself up in this pose. Feel those muscles relaxing. If you were standing, maybe your leg muscles are tense and they need to relax. Wherever your body is tense, just allow it to relax. And bring your awareness to between your shoulder blades. We're going to lift one shoulder up and then slide that shoulder blade down the body and then press your shoulder back into the floor. You may notice how that side of your body instantly feels wider at the shoulder and chest than the other side. Let's lift the other shoulder, slide the shoulder blade down the back, and press that shoulder back into the floor. You should notice your shoulder blades pulling towards each other, your high heart energy contracted, meaning your back of your heart, shoulder blades pulling towards each other, the front of your body, the chest broadening, feeling of lightness and energy in your chest, particularly your upper chest. I guess that is chest, that's rib cage, right? We'll take a few more breaths, savoring the lightness that you've created. And that place in your back between your shoulder blades, called your high heart, it's also the place where you would be, if you were an angel, it's where your wings would be attached. And they say that angels fly because they take themselves lightly. So you're feeling how just connecting to that part of your body is creating that sense of lightness for you. Two more breaths here. And then let's roll the knees to face the ceiling and bring one leg in and gently hug that leg, keeping those shoulders back. So don't round when you bring your leg in. If it helps to hold the back of your thigh so you can maintain that broadness in your chest, you might choose to hold your thigh instead of your shin. While we're here, let's circle the ankle. And circle back the other way. And release. And down. Again, take a moment to notice. You might feel more energy. This leg feels a little lighter, a little less solid. This one feels heavier. Let's bring that leg in. And you can hold the shin if you like, but if holding the back of the thigh encourages your shoulders to press back and your chest to broaden, stay with that. And let's circle the ankle. And circle the other way. And I don't remember if we pointed and flexed on the other side, but we'll do this one. I know how we'll do it. Make sure we get both. We'll point and flex here. And let's walk those feet as wide as the mat. And then we'll lower the knees down to one side. Inhale back to center and lower the knees down the other way. Slowly, feeling the stretch in the front of your inner of the thigh. It's pointing towards the middle of their mat. And the opening in the groin of the opposite leg. Take as much time as you need to explore this stretch in your legs. And then with your knees to one side, just breathe here for a few breaths. If you want a little more intensity, you can put the heel on top of your knee, just letting that extra little bit of weight deepen your stretch. And take the foot off before coming back to center. And then lowering legs the other way. We'll hold for a few breaths. And if you'd like a little more intensity, picking your heel up, placing it on the outside of your knee, and letting that weight increase the intensity of your stretch. Hands can be wherever you like. I'm just finding comfort placing them on my midriff, but they can be out to the sides or goddess, another comfortable way to go. Deep breaths into the stretch. And release the foot. Come on back up and bring your legs back in. Let's bring those legs in and give yourself a hug. And again, you can hug the back of your thighs to encourage your shoulders to press back. And let's just kick our legs. Opening up the knees. And let's sway the knees from side to side. And circle. And circle. And let's inhale, stretch the legs up, and exhale, bring them in, hug. Inhale, stretch up, exhale, hug. Moving with the breath. We're going to do a lot of upper body work, so we're giving our legs some attention now, letting them feel the love. We always want the whole body to be engaged in our asana practice. Last one. And you can either just roll, yeah, let's just come on back. Okay. Let's roll to one side. Then we'll come to a seated position. Sitting up whatever way feels good to you. Wriggle the buttocks, flesh away, roll the shoulders back and down, stretch up tall. And let's start with some sun shining breaths. As you reach up, pull those shoulders back and down. Feel the shoulder blades pulling towards each other, the chest nice and broad. At the same time, we want to make sure that our belly is lifted and our rib cage is tucked, so we're not poking out the ribs. I had a very enthusiastic student early in my teaching who would always poke her ribs out to show what an engaged yogi she was. We want to pull those, the lower ribs and the belly towards each other, the shoulder blades towards each other and back, and the chest broad. You might find that as you engage your core and your rib cage, we call that girdling the core, that also tends to inspire ujjayi breathing. So yoga is so holistic. One change in the body affects another change. One change in the breath affects another change. And let's grab one wrist and stretch over. Inhale back to center. Grab the opposite wrist and pull yourself in. Inhale back to center. Interlace your hands behind your head. Press the elbows back. Again, feel the shoulder blades moving towards each other, the chest expanding. We're still girdling the core. We're not poking the lower ribs out. And we'll bend the elbows and curl in, lifting even more through the core, drawing the belly almost up under the rib cage here. Inhaling. Sternum lifted, shoulders back. And we're taking a few breaths in each pose, rather than going breath to breath. So exhaling, but then you'll be here while you breathe into your back body, because you can't breathe well into your front body here. Feeling the adaptability of the breath. And let's drop the hands and we'll circle. And circle back. And elbows in and elbows back. So as the elbows come in, you feel your shoulder blades poking out. As the elbows come back, you feel those shoulder blades reaching towards each other, the engagement of the muscles in the back, high heart. And let's just reach those hands out, making kind of claws, and we're going to turn those two doorknobs. Again, feel the chest broad, shoulder blades, and the muscles between the shoulder blades engaged. And maybe feel your triceps squeezing onto the bone. And then let's just flick away whatever we don't need. And then let's just reach those arms further back, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And down, just take that in. Do some easy body circles. And notice how I'm adding my head, turning towards the shoulder. If that feels good to you. Rotating the head as well. And then going back the other way. So starting with the body and then letting the head come in, feeling how that head wants to go towards the shoulder that's going forward. It takes a minute to adjust. One more. And back to center. Bring the legs out in front, grab the shins, we'll round back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. Taking all the time you need to go with a full breath out and a full breath in. Last one. And coming back to center. Then walk the heels back, bring the hands to the floor, and turn the fingertips out to the side and feel how that rotates your shoulders back and broadens your chest. So variation on this pose. Take a nice deep breath, lift the hips, pressing the shoulders back. And bend the elbows a little bit. Inhale, straighten, so we're doing backwards push up. And if this doesn't work for you, just stay with your hips on the floor. One more. And come down. And bring your hands behind your legs. Lift your heels. So again, in this pose, we want to feel those shoulders back and down rather than rounding forward. Feel the high heart, the muscles back there pulling towards each other to support the lift in your chest. And let's do a second set. Bring the feet to the floor. Again, the hands are turning out to roll the shoulders out and broaden your chest, squeezing the muscles in your high heart area. Inhale, lift, a little bend in the elbows, and then we'll press down. Inhale, lift. And come on down. So you feel how your chest is nice and lifted here. Keep that lift as you bring your arms forward. Lift your legs, release your hands, choosing the level of challenge that's right for you. And then give yourself a hug. And come over onto your hands and knees. Finding table here, let's press into the base of the fingers. Draw the belly in for support. And we'll move between cat and dog here. One more. And coming back to center, firming the core. Let's walk around to one side. And back the other way. And we're going to come back to center. We're going to try a variation here. Be far enough back on your mat that you can come into puppy dog. And then we're going to walk around here from puppy dog, particularly pressing into, if you turn to the right, your left hand. Feel that stretch in the side body. Lift your armpit and feel the tricep, the back of your arm, hugging the bone. Inhale back into puppy dog. We'll walk around the other way. Again, if you walk it to your left, you're pressing into the right hand, lifting your right armpit, hugging that right tricep into the bone. And walk yourself back to center and back into puppy dog. And then coming back up into table, you can either press back into child or come up into downward facing dog. So before you come into down dog, you want to press the shoulder blades back, flattening them on your back. Feel the energy in your high heart, those muscles pulling together. Take a nice deep breath and draw your core in, and then lift up. Again, it's your first down dog of the day. You might want your knees really bent. You might want to pedal one leg and then the other. Let's come down into child. We'll take a rest before doing our second down dog. If you come into egg position, you'll feel how your shoulders roll forward here and relax forward. And again, you can stay in child or come into table. Walk your hands forward just a bit, or you can come into puppy dog. Press the shoulders back away from the ears and lengthen your neck. Take a deep breath and then pull the belly in, tuck the rib cage, firming your core, girdling it, and then lift the knees, press back towards your legs with deeply bent legs, and then slowly pedaling them, working them towards straight. Feel the shoulder blades flattening on your back. Your arms pulling towards each other. Let's come to stillness, pressing the heels back, the thighs back, softening the energy between your shoulder blades, bowing your heart to the floor. And then walking your way to the middle of your mat into a forward fold. Have your legs bent as much as you need to. Surrender over your legs. Let your head relax. It feels good to move it from side to side or forward and back. Or if you want to shift your weight a little bit, whatever feels good to you. And then let's roll it. And we'll come into Tadasana. And we'll repeat some of the things that we did on the floor. Taking a moment to ground through the legs. And girdle your core, pulling your belly up and your lower ribs in. Feeling your shoulder blades pulling towards each other. Inhale, arms up. And grab one wrist and stretch over. Inhale back up, grab the opposite wrist and stretch. Inhale back to center and float the arms down. We're going to do what's called banker pose. You're going to bring your hands underneath your armpits. You're going to lift your armpits and feel how that lifts the chest and pulls the shoulder blades back and down. But again, we're not poking up the rib cage. We're having a nice girdled core as we bring the spine forward between the shoulder blades, lifting and broadening the sternum. And release. If you don't have a strap, you can do that a second time. If you have a strap, now's the time to grab it. We're going to bring the strap right underneath our armpits. I hope you have a longer strap tonight. We're going to throw that over our shoulders and across the strap and back. There we go. And then your strap, I hope, is longer because we want to pull that strap forward here. So we're pulling the shoulders back. We're keeping the core nice and firm. We're using the strap so it's crossed and back, pulling the shoulders back. We're holding the ends of the strap here. Create a nice open posture. And release. Okay, let's take that strap with the palms facing inward, standing in Tadasana, the nice strong core. Pull the strap apart as we pull our hands away from our body. And again, you should feel that nice squeeze in the upper back, broadening in the chest. And keeping the core nice and girdled so that the lower back is long too. You don't want to feel any compression in the lower back. Okay, and release and notice the after effect of that. And then we're going to turn the palms on the strap so now the palms are away from you. And notice how that rolls the shoulders back and down even more. We're going to pull the strap apart and away. Still keeping a nice girdled core, long lower back, tucked rib cage. And release. Put your strap down for a moment. We're going to find our wall space. And we're going to do a shoulder opener, similar to what we did last time with the clock, but not exactly the same. And turn and face the wall. And bring your arm at a comfortable distance, fingertips on the wall. So you're about a foot or so away from the wall, whatever's comfortable. And then you can start to turn your body away from your hand till you feel a nice, comfortably interesting stretch in that shoulder. Just breathe into that stretch. A little bit of resistance, pressing the fingertips into the wall to engage the arm muscles. And let's turn back to the wall and we'll change arms. Whew, feel the difference? Those two sides. And we'll bring the other hand just comfortably up onto the wall. And then begin to walk yourself around in a circle, elbows just very slightly bent until you feel an interesting pull in that shoulder. Fingertips pressing into the wall to create some resistance. And let's come back and release. Notice how you feel. We're going to do a variation. We're going to bring one hand to the wall and then the other hand to the wall with the elbow bent at shoulder, somewhere between elbow and shoulder height. And then we're going to begin to rotate. So we're pressing both fingers against the wall here. Feel the shoulders coming back and down. And we'll come back and we'll change sides. One hand comfortably up, the other hand about some halfway between elbow and shoulder height. Turn your body, pressing the fingertips into the wall. Engage your arm muscles, shoulders back and down. And release your hands. This wall is sticky. Shake it out if you need to. Come back onto your mat. We're going to do a warrior one. So we'll start at the back of our mat. And hands to hips. Girdling the core, lower back long, shoulders back and down. Start with the right foot. Let's just step forward on the right foot. Reposition as you need to. And then we're going to roll the shoulders back and down and reach our hands behind us in our warrior one. Feel those shoulder blades pulling towards each other. Feel the back of the arms, the triceps engaged. Feel the chest broadening. And then you can bring the hands behind you, or I should have said you grab your strap here. Coming into a yoga mudra, so bigger, tighter squeeze here. And then bring your chest forward and up, if that feels safe to you. You can still be looking forward, even with the chest forward and up. You don't have to look up. So you have your drishti. And then let's release those hands. Bring them out to the side into a goddess arm. So feel how the shoulder blades are flat on your back. And then the last one, reaching up, arms slightly back. Nice full breaths here. It creates lots of space for breath. And we'll bring those hands back down and step forward. Shake it out if you need to and walk back onto your mat. Find your Tadasana. Step forward on the opposite foot. Reposition your back foot. Find your base. Then roll the shoulders back and turn the palms away from you. Feeling the shoulder blades squeezing towards each other. Feel the triceps pressing into the bone. Feel how that creates space in your chest. Then bring your hands together, interlace them in a weird way, coming into Yoga Mudra. Deepening the squeeze between your shoulder blades, opening your chest even more. And then release your hands into Goddess Pose. Feel the flatness of your shoulder blades on your back. Deep breath in, lift the heart. Reach the arms up, still feeling the shoulder blades drawing down the back. And bring those arms behind you a little bit. Firming the triceps onto the bones. And bring your hands to your hips and step forward. And just show that. Whew. Do one more wide-legged pose. We'll do our 5-pointed star as our entry into Virabhadrasana 2, rotating the legs and coming into our lunge, but feeling the broadness of the chest, the engagement of the arms. Let's release and turn the other way. Inhale tall and exhale lunge. And straighten and toe heel back to Tadasana. All right, I'm debating whether we should do a balancing pose or not. So I'll give you the option. Let's do a balancing pose. Or if this has been enough standing work for you, you can rest in Shavasana until we come back to the floor together. So we're going to bring our strap behind ourselves. And you can have the hands facing out with the shoulder blades together. We'll come into a balancing T-pose. Or if you don't need the strap, you can have your hands in Yoga Mudra. Step forward. Start with a slight bend in the knee, lift your back heel. So we're feeling that squeeze in the shoulder blades. And this could be your asana, or begin to come forward into our balancing T-pose. Nice and short. Okay. And we'll do the other side. Stepping forward, starting with a bent knee. Maybe interlace your hands the weird way. Lift your heel, and that could be your pose. Or begin to come forward. Straightening the front leg, but keeping a little wiggle room in that back, in the back of your knee. Yeah, that was better. And release. Shake it out. Whew. And come on down onto your bellies. You've done great work. Have your strap handy. And we'll take a few breaths in crocodile pose. And let's bring the legs together. Bring the hands beside you and chin to the floor. We're going to roll their shoulders back and inhale the head and chest up, but bring the shoulders back. Reach your hands behind you, firming the triceps onto the bone. And press the top of your feet into the mat. And come on down and surrender. Then we'll go for a second set. You can grab your strap and use your strap, or you can come into Yoga Mudra, whichever works better for you. Squeezing their shoulder blades together. And notice I'm not lifting my head and chest, not lifting my head and chin. I'm lifting through the chest. The head comes up last. So we're feeling that squeeze between the shoulder blades, broadening of the chest, engagement of the triceps. Softening of the face and throat, and easy flow of breath. And down and relax the other way. And bring your hands forward into Sphinx. Inhale up, walking those hands forward. Feel the shoulders pulling back and the chest broadening, shining from your heart. And if it works for you, begin to put your hands into the floor and lift the torso. But we're not lifting the shoulders, we're keeping those shoulders back, opening the heart. Feeling the lightness that comes from an open heart. And down. Cheek the other way, palms up, heels out, surrender. And you're always welcome to do another set of Sphinx, or bring your arms back into Cobra, bring your legs together, rolling their shoulders back and down, long neck, chest comes forward and up, using only your core and back strength. Feel the head of the shoulder blades pulling back. And then again, if you like, bring some weight into your hands, if that will lift your torso, not your shoulders. Look up, create length in your neck, don't throw your head back. And slowly come back down. And turn your cheek the other way. Surrender. And head in line with your spine, palms down, point your toes towards the ceiling. But lift the head of your arm bones up. Reach your chest forward and up. Coming up into a modified Bhujangasana. Slowly come down. Turn palms up, heels out. And head in line with the spine. Toes pointed up, shoulders lifted. You can stay in the first variation or coming into a full Bhujangasana, lifting the head and chest, lifting the knees, kicking the ankles back. You really get to feel the broadness of the chest here. The squeeze in the upper back. The lightness of being. And down. And release into crocodile pose. Shimmy your hips if you need to before coming to stillness. And let's roll over the bridge and fish. Roll yourself down. Walk your heels about fingertips distance from your buttocks, knees and feet are hip width apart. Take a moment to press those shoulders back into the earth and feel your chest broaden. And you may notice the lightness of being that simple action affords you. And when you're ready, we'll begin to lift the hips one vertebra at a time. Oh, I forgot to say if you want to use your strap. Okay, next variation, we'll use the strap. And if you're high enough up, you can roll one shoulder underneath you or roll the other shoulder underneath you. Squeeze your arms together, squeeze your shoulders together, lift your chest. Wriggle your shoulders out, roll yourself down, one vertebra at a time. Soften your back into the floor. Feel the chest nice and broad and open. If you want to use your strap, you can find it. You can place the strap around the ankles. And you can pull against your ankles in bridge pose. So that's another possible variation. Press the shoulders back into the floor. Feel the broadness of the chest. Engage the triceps, hug them against the bone. Inhale, begin to lift your hips, using the strap to create that energy in your arms to press down as you lift your hips and your spine. Bring your spine forward into your chest. Throat and face are soft. Roll the palms up. Feel the shoulder blades rolling towards each other, the shoulders pressing back into the earth. Ah, that's fun, isn't it? And slowly roll back down, releasing. Release the strap and give yourself a hug. We'll come into fish pose. If you have props and want to do a supported fish on your own, please go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we'll stretch the legs out, rolling one hip and the other so the palms are face down underneath your buttocks. Once again, let's press those shoulders back and down and feel the lift in the chest that happens immediately. Maybe you want to stay right here. Maybe that's all you feel to do. We'll begin to bring the spine forward into your heart as you lift the chest and let the head hang back. You can touch the floor with your head, but you're not putting any weight on your neck, or you can just let the head hang. Pressing the shoulders back, bringing the spine forward between your shoulder blades, opening your heart, feeling that incredible lightness of being. And what I love about Malasana is you really feel that lightness once you come out of this pose. So let's slide onto the back of our heads and release our arms and notice roll the legs to face the ceiling, bring your right leg in and give it a hug, and then gently guide that leg across your body, coming into a knee down twist. Keep your other hand on your hip or out to the side. Turn your head away from your knee. You can also rest your foot on your knee. That's better, or on a block. Inhale back to center, one more squeeze. Bring the other leg in to meet it. Straighten your right leg out, hugging your left leg. Take your left leg in your right hand and bring the knee across. Coming into a knee down twist on this side. Keeping your hand on your hip or reaching it out. Resting knee or arm on a block. finding what works for you. And roll back, bring the other knee in. And come into Shavasana. Roll those shoulders back. Press them into the earth and then release. You can stay here as long as you like, but when you're ready, begin to gently move and stretch in whatever way feels good to you. Bringing some movement back into your body. And when you're ready, rolling to one side. Placing your hands on the floor in front of you and making your way to a seated position. In your seated position, press your shoulders down and back. Feel the muscles of your high heart engage. Feel your chest broaden, the light shine from your heart, and the sense of lightness rise up in you. So I hope this is a practice that you can take into your daily life. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.